This conference will now be recorded.
Let me go and open the class notes. In yesterday's class, we discussed about multi-level approvals. So let me go and open the class notes. Let me go and open the approvals class notes. Now see, currently we're discussing about the approvals. We discussed about the types of approvals. One is single level approval, and second we discussed the multi-level approvals. So in yesterday's class, we discussed this multi-level approvals. So in class one, we discussed about the single level approvals, and in yesterday's class, that is class two, in class 2 we discussed about multi-level approvals, that is getting the approvals from the manager and also getting from the approvals from the HR. And now in today's session, that is class 3. So today is class 3 regarding the approvals. So in class 3, what we'll discuss here is we'll discuss about auto approve, guys. How to auto approve or reject, we'll discuss now in today's session. Today is class 3. In today's class, what we'll discuss here is auto approve or auto reject, whether you can automatically approve the request or you can reject the request. So how to go and make the approvals as auto approve or reject, we'll discuss now in today's session, guys. So in order to go and work with it, first of all, let me go and open the Power Automate. Let me open the Power Automate and let me explain you what the things we need to do. Now see, I'm opening the Power Automate. Now what is the user I'm logging here is I'm logging with the user Venki Challa. Now once after logging with the user, now let me go to the my flows. Let me go to my flows. In yesterday's class, we discussed about the multi-level approvals, guys. So I want to use the same, whatever the flow we discussed in yesterday's class, the same flow I want to make use of. So for today's session, to go and discuss about the auto approvals. So go and discuss about the auto approve or reject. So what I can do here is just to go and just let me go and make a copy of the same guess. So I don't want to disturb this flow, I want to keep it as same. I want to make a copy of it. So go to the more actions, go and click on the more actions, and then there is an option called save as. So just go and click on save as. When I go and click on the save as, it is going to take a copy of the same flow guess. So just click on the save as. So it is asking us to pass the name. Let me pass the name as flow name as auto approvals. Let me pass the flow name as what? Auto approval. Auto approvals. So let me keep the auto approval and click on what? Save. I think already there is a flow. Let me keep it as auto approval. Let me click on save. When I click on save, now it is going to create a same flow with a different name. Let it create. Now see the same flow. I'm just copy and pasting. I'm saving it as another name, auto approval. So let me go and turn off this flow, guys. I want to turn off the multi-level approval. So let me go to this 3 ellipses. Let me turn off this. There is an option here called turn off. I want to turn off this flow. I don't want to run this. So just go and click on turn off. So when I click on turn off, now see automatically it is grayed out. Now I want to turn on this auto approvals. Let me go and go to the 3 ellipses and go and click on turn on. I want to turn on this flow auto approval. Just go and click on turn on. Now when I click on turn on, now this is the flow. Let me go and open this flow, guys. So whatever I'm going to discuss now, auto approve or reject, I want to go and do it on this flow, same flow. I want to make use of the yesterday's flow only, multi-level approval. Just I'm copying and pasting the same flow. I'm just changing the name to auto approval. Now just go and click on edit. Let me edit the flow. Switch back to the world designer. This is the flow we created in yesterday's class. So switch back to the world designer. This is the flow case. So the same flow, whatever the flow we created in yesterday's same flow, just I'm changing the name here, auto approval. So what is the trigger? When an item is created in the SharePoint, what's the list name? Leave approvals. Now what actions I want to take? First, I want to update the status to what? Waiting for manager approval. Once after updating the status, I want to send one email to the employee. Whoever the employee is requesting the leave, for them I want to send one email. So what is that email? So subject is your leave request has been submitted, and hi, display name, your leave request has been submitted successfully, waiting for manager approval, thanks. And next, what is the next step we are doing here? Start and wait for an approval. Now I'm starting the approval process. So I want to assign this request to the manager. To assign the request to the manager, I'm going to use the approval. So in this approval, what I'm doing here, so approval type is first to respond. First to respond. Next, title, what's the title of this approval? So I'm keeping the leave type. So if you go to the dynamic content, there is something called leave type. So what type of leave the employee is taking, whether casual leave, paid leave, or medical leave. And assign to you, to whom you want to assign this approval. I want to assign this one to the manager. Whoever the manager, whoever the employee is selecting as a manager, for them I want to assign this approval. Next, what in the details, I'm keeping the description, guys. Whatever the description the employee is keeping, I want to keep the same description here also. Let me go and open the Power Apps. Let me open that form. Let me open that form. We created a form for leave approval, leave request. Let me go and click on edit. So here in this form, whoever the employee is selecting as a manager, for them I want to assign that or request. So let it open. So whoever the employee is selecting as manager here, let's say Sunil. So to whom I want to assign this approval means I want to assign this approval process, approval request to the manager. And then in the details, whatever the description the employee is keeping here, whatever the description the employee is keeping, why that, what is the reason he is taking the leave, that description I want to go and mention it here in the details. Now once after start getting the approvals, next I'm taking one condition here, guys. What the condition? So if the outcome of the previous step, if the previous step outcome is equals to approve, then go on. If condition, guys, if it is true, if the manager is approved, then what I want to do? So here I'm updating the status to what? Waiting for HR approval. And then I'm keeping the manager comments here. Whatever the comments the manager is providing, manager comments. Next, I want to send one email to that employee that your subject is waiting for HR approval. Your leave request has been approved by the manager, waiting for HR approval. And if the HR is providing, if the manager is providing any comments, I'm mentioning the comments here. Once after sending the email, next, I'm starting an approval for HR, guys, HR approval. So once the manager is approved here, then I want to assign that approval to the HR. So here, to whom you want to assign? I want to assign to the HR, whoever the employee is selecting as a HR here. So to that HR, I want to go and assign this approval request. The description I'm keeping the same. Details I'm keeping here, description. Once after assigning the approval to the HR, next condition. Next I'm taking another condition here, guys. So if the outcome of the previous step, that means if the HR is approved, if condition I'm taking, if the HR is approved, then what I want to do? Then I want to update the items in the SharePoint list. So I want to update the status to what? Approve. And I want to keep here HR comments. Whatever the comments the HR is providing, I want to mention those comments here. And then after, send an email to that employee that totally finally your leave request has been approved. Hi, whatever the name it is, your leave request has been approved by the HR comments. Whatever the comments the HR is providing, he's providing the comments. Suppose if the HR is not approved, suppose the HR is not approved, if it is rejected, then go and update the status to what? Go and update the status to rejected. Whatever the comments the HR is providing, mention the comments here. And then after, go and send an email that your leave request has been rejected by the HR, rejected. So this is the flow we created in yesterday's class, guys. So this is the flow we created in yesterday's class, that is regarding a multi-level approval. So see, one approval is manager approval. This is the manager approval. If the manager is approved, what I want to do. So first go and update the status, send an email to the employee, and then start the approval process for HR. So if the HR is approved, what I want to do. If the HR is approved, go and update the status to approve. If the HR is not approved, go and update the status to rejected. So this is what we are doing in yesterday's class. And now in today's session, what we need to do here. So suppose think that now in today's session, what is my requirement here is, suppose let's say today I applied for the leave. So tomorrow I want to take the leave. Today I applied for the leave. So by the end of this today, by the end of the day, the manager need to approve it. Suppose think that if the manager is not approved by the end of this day, suppose think that the manager is not approved, he doesn't know, he forget to let's say approve the leave request. Now what I want to do here is I want to make it as auto approve. Suppose I want to give some time duration here. Let's say by today at once the employees apply for a leave, uh, within 1 hour 2 hours, if the manager is not responding, then I want to make it as auto approve, guys. Now how to make it as an auto approve? So if you want to make it as an auto approve, first go to the start and wait for an approval. If you go here there is an action here, guys. Go to these three ellipses, more actions, and I click on it. If you go to the settings, when I go to the settings here, if you scroll down, there is something called timeout. So there is something called what? Timeout. Now what is this timeout, guys? Limit the maximum duration. That means, so once you start the approval process, once if I send the approval to the manager, how long I need to wait here? If the manager is approved within 1 or 2 minutes or within 5 minutes, okay, it is not a matter. Suppose if the manager forget to approve, how long I need to wait here? How long I need to go and wait? If you see here, the first step is timeout, guys. So how long you need to go and wait? Basically, what is the timeout? Whenever if you go and run the flow, first it will update the items, send the email to the employee, next it will wait for the approval request. So it will wait for the response from the manager, whether the manager is respond approve or reject. Until and unless the manager responds, the flow doesn't move to the next step. So once if you run the flow, how long the flow will wait for the approval request means approvals means either the for the manager response, how long it will wait means, whenever if you run the flow, the timeout of the flow is 30 days, guys. So maximum timeout is, what's the duration? 30 days the flow can wait here. So once the flow is started, it will wait here for 30 days for the manager response. So maximum time duration you can set here is 30 days. You can wait for the HR manager approval. Until and unless before 30 days, if the manager is not responding to that request after 31st day, after 30 days, in the 31st, then automatically the flow will be timed out. The manager is not able to approve it. So what is the maximum time duration is? So if you run the flow will be in run for 30 days. Max time duration is 30 days. So once if you run this flow, it will come here and wait for the manager response. How many days it will wait? Max it will wait for 30 days. So maximum duration is this one, guys. You can set whether you want to wait 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 10 days. Maximum limit is 30 days. Not only days, you can wait for time. Let's say 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, or 1 minute, 2 minutes. How long you want to wait for the manager approval? So let's say here, once the employee is approved, once the employee is requesting the leave, so I want to wait for the manager response for 1 hour or 2 hours. If the manager is not responding within 1 or 2 hours, I want to make it as auto approve. So I'm not able to hear for 1 hour or 2 hour. So what I will do here is, so I will set the time duration here for this action for 1 minute, guys. Within 1 minute, if the manager is approved, then go for the process. If the manager is not approved, then I want to make it as auto approve. So go to these three ellipses, more actions, and go to the settings, and then go to the time duration. So what's the maximum time duration I want to set here? So duration, now see, you need to set the duration in the ISO format, guys. Specific duration in ISO format. So it is giving one example. example, in which what is the format you want to enter here? Duration. It is telling that example P1D. What the P1D stands for means, P1D stands for wait for a period of 1 day. P1D stands for what? Period of 1 day. In the same way, PT1M. What is this PT1M means? Wait period of 1 minute. What is this PTM means? M means wait period of 1 minute. So like this, in the standards, you need to go and mention wait period of 1 minute. So I want to wait for how much time here? 1 minute. So I want to go and take this one, guys. In this format, you need to go and enter the duration here. So example is giving P1D. P1D stands for what? For 1 day I want to wait here for the manager approval. If the manager is not responding here within 1 day, I want to make it as auto approve. I don't want to waste my time. So what I will do here is I will make it as PT1M. So what the PT1M stands for? PT1M stands for wait for the period of 1 minute. So whenever the flow runs, how long it will wait for the HR approval means, sorry, manager approval is, it will wait for 1 minute. Within 1 minute, if the manager is not responding, then it will auto approve. So select, pass the time duration here and then click on done. Click on done. Now when I click on done, now see whenever if you go and run this flow, here how long it will wait for the approval means how long it will wait for the response from the manager is, it will wait for only 1 minute, guys. Within 1 minute, if the manager is responded, then it will go to the process. It will goes to the same process. If it is approved, yes. If it is rejected, no. Same flow. So when I want to go and run this one case, when I want to go for this condition, if the previous step is success, so if the manager is approved, if the manager is approved within this time duration, within the 1 minute, within the 1 minute, if the manager is approved, then only I want to go for this. So once after setting the time duration here, if you go to this, if you go to here, if you go here, when I go to the condition, if you go to the three ellipses and I click on the three ellipses, and there is an option called configure run after. There is an option called what? Configure run after. That means when I want to go and run this action, means when I go and click on it, now see what's the previous step for this? Start and wait for an approval. What's the previous step for this? Start and wait for an approval. If this step is success, if the previous step is success, then only it will take the condition. When it will go for this action, if the previous step is success means if the manager is approved, then only it will go for the condition case. So if you go to the three ellipses, go to the configure run after. So when this step will run means if the previous step, what's the previous step? Start and wait for an approval. If the previous step is success, that means if the manager is approved, then only go and run this condition. Go to this condition. Otherwise, until and unless the previous step is success, it doesn't go for this. So what I want to do here is, here itself you can go into the changes, guys. When I go to the run and configure, so when I want to run this condition means if the previous step is success or if the previous step has timed out. So if you see there is an option here, success, failed, skipped, or has timed out. I can go and select the timeout also. So click on done. When I want to go and run this condition means when I go for the next process here is if the previous step is success or if the previous step is timed out. That means within 1 minute, if the manager is not respond, it is timed out. If it is timed out, or if the manager is approving within 1 minute, then go for this process. So what I will do here is instead of going and making that has timed out here, let me make it as is success. When I want to go and run this step is if the previous step is success, then only go and go for the condition. So if the previous step is success, then go for this condition, guys. Go for the condition. Let me check if it is approved, go for this process. If it is rejected, go for this process. Now what I will do here is so suppose when I want to go for this step, if the previous step is success, suppose if the manager is not approved within the time duration, that means the previous step is timed out. Now, if the previous step is timed out, then what I want to do? So when I want to go for this condition means if this step is success, that means if the manager is approved, then only go for this. What happens if the time is out? If the time duration is out, timeout is there. 1 minute is the time duration I set there. Within 1 minute, if the manager is not approved, then what action I want to take? So I want to make it as auto approve, right? So here you are able to see something called plus icon. So it is telling that insert a new step here. So I want to go and click on this insert a new step. So there is something called what here? Parallel branching. Add a parallel branching. Just go and click on it. Add a parallel branching. Now see, if this step is success, if the manager is approved, go for this process. Now if the manager is not approved, if this step is timed out, then what I want to do? So I'm using the parallel branching here, guys. So what is this parallel branching means? So what is this parallel branching is? If you go here, what is this parallel branching means? Parallel branching is used to perform the multiple actions simultaneously. Within the flow, whenever if you want to perform the multiple actions simultaneously, then in this case, go and use the parallel branching. Now see, here, if the manager is approved, go for this process. If the manager is not approved, if the step is timed out, if the step is timed out after 1 minute, go for this process. So parallel branching is for what means? So parallel branching is used to perform the multiple actions simultaneously. If you see, this is one action, this is another action. When I want to run this action, if the previous step is success, now when I want to go and run this action, if the previous step is timeout, then only I want to go and run these actions. So parallel branching is used to perform multiple actions simultaneously. And also what is the use of this parallel branching is, parallel branching will increases the efficiency of the flow. So if you use the parallel branching in the flow, automatically your flow efficiency will be increased. That means performance will be increases. And also you can save the time. You can save the time if you use the parallel branching. And it is also used to continue the flow will works. And also it is used to continue the flow. It is used to continue the workflow. That means, so if the previous step is not approved, if suppose if the manager is not approved, until and unless the manager approved, it will stop here itself. I don't want to stop it. I need to wait for 1 minute. The manager approved, go for this process. If the manager is not approved within 1 minute, then I want to go for this process. So this is what is meant by parallel branching. Yes, parallel branching is used to perform the multiple actions simultaneously. Parallel branching will increase the efficiency, that is performance of the flow. If you are using the parallel branching, it will save the time. And also it is used to continue the workflow. If you don't want to stop your flow in between, so go and use the parallel branching. So this is what is meant by parallel branching. And also maximum how many parallel branchings you can use per flow. So this is the flow I am using here, right? In this flow, how many parallel branchings you can use? A single flow, it contains maximum you can use 50 parallel branchings, guys. If you are creating one flow, in that flow you can use max 50 parallel branchings. So this is the maximum limit of using the parallel branching, and this is what the functionality of parallel branching. Now I'm taking here parallel branching. Yes. Now when I want to go for this, so first of all, in this parallel branching, what I want to do here is I want to update the items. Update the items in the SharePoint list. Go and select update items. Now, what is the site you want to update? Let me go for the Power Automate flows. What's the list name? The list name is leave approvals. What is the ID? Let me go and select the created, when an item is created ID. Select this ID. Next, I want to update what? Status. So let me update the status to approve. So first let me update the status to what? Approve, guys. Directly I want to make it as approve. So first let me show you how to get the auto approve from manager, and then I will discuss how to assign that request to the manager. That means to the HR. So first let me go and first, if the manager is not responding, if the manager is not approved within 1 minute, then I want to go and update the status to what? Approve. Directly I want to get approve it. First, let me show you how to auto approve from manager. Next, I will show you how to assign that approval to the another manager or HR. Now see, directly I'm updating the status to approve, and then I'm adding the comments here, guys. So what is the comments I want to add it here is manager comments. Let me keep here. Let me keep here. Auto approved. What's the comments I want to keep here is auto approved by the system. Auto approved by the system. So it is an auto approve. It is automatically approved by whom? By the system. It is not approved by the manager. So comments I'm keeping here is manager comments is auto approved by the system. Next, once after this, I want to send an email to that employee. Now go and click on action, add an action. So what's that action now? I want to send an email to that employee, whoever the employee is submitting the leave request. So what is that email is? So let me go and select to whom I want to send. So I want to send it to them created by email. And what's the subject? Auto approved by the system. Auto approved by system. Now hi, here I want to mention the display name. Go to the created by, an item is created, and here you can see something called display name, created by display name, and keep it in the bold. Keep it in the bold. Next, hi, let's say myself Venki. Hi Venki, your leave request has been auto approved by the system. Your leave request has been auto approved by the system. Let me keep here. Thanks. AB trainings. Thanks AB trainings. Or let me keep here. Your leave request has been approved. Let me keep here. Approved. Keep it in the bold. In the comments, I want to mention here what? Let me keep here. MGR comments. Manager comments. What the comments I want to mention here is? Now I want to mention here auto approved. Auto approved by the system. Auto approved by the system. This is the comments I want to keep. So once after sending this mail to the employee, now add an action. So what I want to do here is, so once after sending the email to the employee, so I'm going to use one control here called terminate, guys. So I'm going to use one control called terminate. I'm going to use one control here called terminate. I will discuss these controls in the coming classes. For now, try to understand what is this terminate, guys. I'm adding an action called terminate. Now, what is the use of this terminate is? It is used to stop the flow. In between, if you want to stop the flow, then you can go and use the terminate control. Terminate is used to stop the flow. So when to go and use this terminate means basically, suppose if the user is entering some data, once the user is entered the data, then automatically we want to run the flow. Suppose if the user is not entering the valid data, suppose the user is entering invalid data, so the Power Automate need to check whether the user is entering the valid data or an invalid data. If the user is entering the valid data, then go and terminate. I don't want to run the flow. I want to stop the flow. So basically this terminate is used to stop the flow in between. Then in between the flow, if the user is not entering the valid inputs, then I want to stop the flow. That's the use of this terminate. Here, if I send the email to the employee, then I want to go and terminate the flow here, guys. So terminate means in the terminate also there are different ways you can terminate the flow. You can terminate the flow as a failed. You can terminate that same flow as cancelled. You can terminate. That means you can stop that flow as a success. You can stop the flow as a failed flow. You can stop that flow as cancelled. You can stop that flow as success. Here I want to stop the flow as success. Here I want to stop the flow as what? Success. So this is what I am doing here, guys. So when I want to go for these actions, so I said that I am setting the time limit here. What's the time limit I'm setting here? 1 minute is the time limit I'm setting. So whenever if I go and run this flow, it will come here and it will wait for the manager response for 1 minute. So within 1 minute, if the manager is respond, I want to go for the actual process. So when I go to this three ellipses, when I go to the configure and run, so what is telling, if the previous step is success, then go for this. So yes, I want to keep it as same. Previous step, whatever it is, I want to keep it as same. So when I want to go for this means, if the previous step is success, if this step is success, that means if the manager is approved, go for this process. Suppose if the manager is not approved within the time, that means this step has timed out. This step has timed out. If the step is time, if the previous step is timed out, then I want to go and run this flow. So go to this update, go for the three ellipses. When I want to go for this flow, when I want to go for this actions means, so go to the three ellipses, go to the run on, configure and run after. Now when I want to go for this means, if the previous step, what's my previous step? Start and wait for an approval. If the previous step is timed out, when I want to go for this, if the previous step has timed out, guys. So if the manager is not responding within 1 minute, that means the step is timed out. If the previous step has timed out, then click on done, guys. If it is timed out, then go for this process. When I want to go for this process, if the previous step is timed out, go for this process. So within the time duration, within the 1 minute, if the manager is approved, go for this actual process. So let me go and save the flow, guys. Here I am just updating the status to directly to approve. Directly I'm keeping it as approve. Let me show you how to auto approve from the manager. Next I will show you how to assign the same approval to the HR. So let me go and save the flow now. Save the flow. Let me check the flow is having any errors or not. Fine, there is no errors in this flow. Let me test the flow, guys. Before testing the flow, let me go to the SharePoint. Let me go to the Power Automate flows. Let me go to the let me select the Power Automate flows. Let me go to the leave approval. There is some data here. Let me remove this data. Let me remove the data. Fine. Let me go and run the flow. Test the flow for the first time manually. Test the flow manually. Click on test. Now see, it is telling it go and insert some data in the list to check whether the flow is working or not. Let me go to the Power Apps and I want to insert some data. Let's say casual leave. I'm in traveling. Next from date, let's say tomorrow, and another date is 23. From date and to date, who is the manager? Sunil is my manager. I'm not going to select the HR now. For now, I want to just show you how to get the auto approval from the manager, guys. Just go and click on what? Submit. When I click on submit, now see the data is submitted. Once the data is submitted to the data source, now the flow will run. Now the data is not still submitted. Now see, the flow is running, guys. So it is saying that your flow is running. Let me go and open the Outlook. Let me check I received the email or not. Still the data is not inserted. Yes, the data is inserted. The status is updated to what? Waiting for manager approval. And I received an email here. So if you see, just now I received an email. Hi Venki Challa, your leave request has been submitted. Just now I received it, 6:35. Now if you see here, it started and waiting for the manager approval. So how long it will wait here? I set the time duration. It will wait for 1 minute. Within 1 minute, if the manager is approved, it will go for this process. If the manager is not approved, that is timed out. If it is timed out, it will go for this process. Just wait for 1 minute. Exactly after 1 minute, it will be timed out. If the timeout, then I want to go for this process. Just wait for 1 minute. Now see what is happening here. Your flow runs successfully. Now which step is executed? This step is executed. This step is not executed. Why? I'm not approving. It is waiting for how many minutes? Exactly 1 minute it is waiting. After 1 minute, if the manager is not approved, then directly go and update the status to approve, send an email, and terminate the flow. Now, if you see, when I go to the Outlook, here I received an email. So what's that email? Auto approved by system. So hi Venki Challa, your leave request has been approved. Manager comments auto approved by the system. If you go to the SharePoint also, if you see here, the status is changed to what? So directly the status is changed to approve. So if you go to the login as manager as Sunil, here I'm logging the manager as Sunil, guys. So if you go to the Sunil, if you go to the approvals, here the manager is receiving that approval, casual leave. So who is requested? Venki Challa. How long it is received? 1 minute back. So the manager is not approved. If the manager is not approved, the flow will wait for 1 minute. Exactly after 1 minute, if the manager is not approved, then go for this process. If the manager is approved within the 1 minute, it will go for what? It will go for this process. So we need to set some time duration, guys. How long I need to wait for the manager approval? You need to wait for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, or 1 day, 2 days. How long you want to wait for the manager approval? So within that time duration, if the manager is, if you are not getting any response from the approvers, then I want to make it as auto approve. Here I'm making it as an auto approve. So you can do the same for auto reject also, same procedure. So this is what, how to go and automatically approve the leave request, automatically how to go and approve the process. So here just I am approving directly, I'm approving it to the status, I'm approving it to status, I'm changing it to what? Approve. Next, let me go and show you how to assign. Okay, the manager, the HR is not responding within 1 minute. Next, I want to keep it as same. I want to keep the status auto approve. I want to keep it as, I want to send the email. Now once after sending the email, I want to assign this approval request to whom? HR. So let me go and assign that to HR. You can assign it to the HR, or you can go and assign it to some other manager, anyone. Both are same. Assigning to the HR is also a manager, or assigning to some other managers, both are same. Let me go and click on edit, and let me go, once after sending the email to the employee, that is auto approved by the system. Next, what I want to do here is I want to go and add an action, guys. So once after the auto approved by the manager, let me rename it to manager approval. Let me rename this to MGR approval. So if the manager is not approved, auto approve it. So once after auto approve, so next what I want to do, guys. So let me go to the update. So I don't want to directly make the status to approve. I want to change the status to what? Waiting for HR approval. So the manager is not approved, it is auto approved. Next, that approval is assigned to whom? HR. So I want to set the status to waiting for HR approval. Next, send an email to the employee, same mail I want to send. Next, go and add an action here, guys. Go and add an action. Now what's the action I want to add it here is, again I want to go and take the approvals. Again I want to go and take the approval. I want to start the approval, or I want to assign this request to the HR. So select what? Start and wait for an approval. Click on it. Now, what is the approval type? Let me select the approval type as first to respond. Let me select the approval type as first to respond. Next, title. What's the title? So let me keep the title as go to the created by. Scroll down. There is something called created by. So this is the folder created by. In this created by, in the title, I want to mention what? Leave type. What is the type of leave? Whether casual leave, medical leave, or a paid leave. Let me select the leave type and assign to. So to whom you are assigning? HR. So go to the folder called, when an item is created, here go and select what? HR approval. That is HR value. I want to assign to whom? Whoever the employee is selecting as a HR here. For them, I want to go and assign it. Next, once after this description, details, what I want to keep. Let's say here I want to keep the details as auto output by the system. So I want to mention here that this leave request has not approved by the manager. It is auto approved by the system. So just to copy from here to here, and then keep it here. Yes. Details, in the details I want to mention auto approved by the system. Once after this, next I want to go and add a condition. So if the previous step, what is this step? Start and wait for an approval. Let me rename it to let me rename this to HR approval. Let me keep it as 2. Already there is here I'm having a HR approval with same name, so I'm keeping it as 2, HR approval 2. So once after this, I want to add an action. What's that action? A condition. So I want to take the condition. So the same again here, guys. Again, I want to go and check whether the HR is accepting the request or not. Let me take the condition. So what's my condition now? If the outcome of the previous step, what's the previous step? HR approval 2. So the outcome of the previous step is equals to approve. Next, if this condition is true, if the outcome is equals to approve, then what I want to do? Go and add an action. What's that action I want to add it here, guys? So I want to add the action as update the items. If the HR is approved, then what I want to do? I want to update the status to go and update the items. I want to update the status to what? First, what is the site? Power Automate Flows. Power Automate Flows. What's the list name? Leave approval. The list name is leave approvals. Next, what is the ID? Let me go and pass here created by ID. Next, what I want to do here, I want to change the status to what? If the manager is approved, the manager is approved, true. I want to go on the status to approve, and then I want to mention here the HR comments. I want to keep the update the HR comments. Whatever the comments the HR is providing, I want to mention the comments here. So the folder is HR approval 2. So there is something called responses comments. That means HR comments. I want to mention it here. So it is applying one loop here. No worries. Next, once after updating the item, go and send an email to that employee. Send an email. So select this. So to whom you want to send it? I want to send it to the created by email. Next, what's the subject? Finally, I want to keep the subject as approved. So hi. Let me go and keep the display name here. Scroll down. Select create by display name. Keep comma. Keep it in the bold. Next, your leave request has been. Let me keep here, instead of keeping it as an approved, let me keep the outcome here, guys. HR approval to outcome. So HR approval to outcome. So that means the manager is approved. So your leave request has been approved by the HR. Keep it in the bold. And let me keep this outcome also in the bold. Next, HR comments. So whatever the comments the HR is providing, I want to mention the comments here. So let me go to this HR approval to, let me select the responses comments. Next, thanks. AB trainings. This is the mail I want to send. So when, if the HR is approved, suppose if the HR is rejected, what I want to do? Again, I want to take the same actions. First, go and update the items. Update the items. What I want to update? SharePoint list. In the SharePoint list, what's the list you want to update? I want to update the Power Automate flows is the site. What's the list name? Approvals, that is leave approval. Next, what's the ID? So created by ID. Next, what I want to change here? I want to change the status to what? If the HR is rejected. So if the HR is rejected, I want to keep the status to reject. And I want to mention here called HR comments. Whatever the comments the HR is providing, that comments I want to go and mention here. So select the responses comments. And so after this, go and send one email to that employee. So go and send an email to whom? To that employee, whoever it is created. So what is that mail I want to send? First, let me keep here to whom I want to send means created by email. Now what's the subject? Rejected. So hi, created by display name. Created by display name. Next, I want to mention here your leave request has been, the outcome has been, let me take the outcome. The outcome of the HR approval to. The outcome of the HR approval to. Your leave request has been rejected. By whom? By the HR. Let me keep it in the bold. Keep this HR in the bold and also keep this outcome also in the bold. And let me keep here your leave request has been rejected by the HR. Next, go and keep here the HR comments. What are the comments the HR is providing? So just keep the comments in the bold. Next, I want to mention here the HR comments. Go to the HR approval to. HR approval to. Go and select the responses comments. Next, thanks. AB trainings. Fine. This is the flow I am creating here, guys. Let me explain again. Let me explain you again at a high level. So try to understand. First, up to here already you know, if the manager is approved within 1 minute, go for this process. Here again, when I go here, you can see outcome is approved. If it is approved within 1 minute, if it is yes, what you want to do? Same process. If it is rejected, if the manager is rejected within the time duration, then what you want to do? Same process. So if the when I want to go for this step is, if the manager is responding within 1 minute, then go for this process. If the manager is not responding within 1 minute, the manager is not responding within 1 minute, then go and go for this process, parallel branching. Update the status to what? Go and update the status to waiting for HR approval, and then send an email to that employee regarding it is the manager is not approved, it is a system approved, auto approved by the system. Once after sending the email to the employee, I want to assign that request to the HR. So in the while assigning to the HR, I'm keeping here what? Auto approved by the system. It is not approved by the manager. I'm indicating that it is approved by the system, not by the manager, just to indicate to the HR. Next condition, if the previous step is approved, then what I want to do? If the previous step is rejected, that means the HR is not approved. If it is rejected, then what I want to do? Once after this, if you want to keep the terminate, you can keep, otherwise you can remove it. Let me keep the terminate for now. So this is the flow I'm creating here, guys. So this is my flow. If you reduce, fine, if you can see it now. So this is the flow. So if the HR is approved within 1 minute, go for this process, go with this process. If the HR is not approved within 1 minute, then go for this process. This is the flow I'm creating. Now once after creating this flow, just save it. Just save it. Let me check the flow is having any errors or not. The flow is ready to go. We'll recommend you to test it. And let me go to the SharePoint. Let me remove this record. And the flow is ready. It is telling us go and test the flow. Now test the flow, guys. Test the flow manually for the first time. Test it. Now it is telling that go and add an item in the SharePoint to check the flow is working or not. Let me go to this and let me go and enter some details. Let me keep it as paid leave. Let us take I'm going for occasion. Let us take I'm taking for leave for occasion. Description is occasion. From date, let's say today and tomorrow. Manager Sunil is the manager, and who is the HR? Anil is the HR. Now go and click on submit. When I submit the record, now that the data need to submit to the data source. Once the data submit to the data source, now see the flow is running. It is saying that your flow is run, and also I'm receiving an email, guys. So what's that email? Hi Venki Challa, your leave request has been approved. Waiting for the manager approval. If you see here, the data is inserted. So waiting for manager approval. So who is my manager? Sunil. So the flow will wait for 1 minute, guys. I'm not going to approve as a Sunil. So I'm logging with Sunil here. If I go and refresh it, I'm getting this new approval, paid leave. So I'm not going to approve. So just I'm waiting here. So let me wait for 1 minute, guys. Exactly after 1 minute, it will go for this process. Second process. If I approve within 1 minute, it will go for the this first process approval. Just wait for 1 minute. It will wait for 1 minute, and then it will go for this parallel branching. It will go for this process. Now see, exactly 1 minute it is waiting, and then it is starting this flow. Again, it is going to update the record in the SharePoint to what? Waiting for HR. Let me check. It is changed the HR or not. It is still the manager. Let me refresh. Still it is not updated here. Maybe it will take some time to update, but I received an email, guys, and now see the status updated, waiting for HR approval. So what is the comments I'm keeping here? Auto approved by the system. The manager is not approved, it is auto approved by the system. When I go to the mail, now see I received an email. So auto approved by the system. Hi Venki Challa, your leave request has been approved. Comments auto approved by the system. Next, the flow is waiting for HR approval, guys. Now let me go and log in as a HR. Who is my HR? Sunil. Sorry, Anil is my HR. So I'm in the Microsoft Edge. I'm logging with Anil, guys. Now if you see, I'm logging the user as what? Anil. Now when I go to the approvals, here I received an approval, guys. So just now I received 1 minute back. Now the flow is waiting here. Now the flow is waiting for HR approval. If the HR is approved, then it will go for this process. Now let me go here. Uh, let me go to the Microsoft Edge. Now I'm logging with as Anil Kumar. Now go to the approval. Let me approve it. I'm going to approve the request. So response type is what? Approve. Comments. Okay. Approved. Enjoy the occasion. Next, go and click on confirm. When I click on confirm, now I'm going to approve the request, guys. As a HR, I'm approving the request. Now see, the response is done. Now when I go to the flow, if I go to the flow, now see the flow run. HR condition and it is run. Now when I go to the email, now see I'm getting another email now. What's that email? Hi Venki Challa, your leave request has been approved by HR. What's the HR comments? Okay, approved. Enjoy the occasion. And when I go to the SharePoint, in the SharePoint, the HR comments need to update. Let me refresh it. Still the comments is not updated. Just wait for some time. Click on refresh. Yes, the HR comments is updated. Okay, approved. Enjoy the occasion. So now when I go to the flow, now see it is telling that your flow ran successfully. Now see as a manager, I'm not approving. It is waiting for exactly for 1 minute. After 1 minute, uh, it is going for this process. When I want to go and run this, if the previous step is timed out, then only go for this. Otherwise, within 1 minute, if the manager is approve, if the manager is responding, whether he is approve or reject, that means the manager is responding. If the previous step is success, then go for this process. I'm not, for now the flow is not going for this process. Why? Here the manager is not approved within 1 minute. So if it is timed out, so it is timeout. If the previous step is timeout, then go and run this flow. I said that here when I want to go and start this action, if the previous step has timed out. So like this, we're able to go and auto approve or auto reject the approvals case. Here I'm showing for approvals, auto approve. The same you can do it for reject also. So here I'm adding for the manager. If the manager is not responding within 1 minute, so I'm making it as auto approve. Go for this. Here the HR also, let's say the HR is not approving for 1 or 2 hours. Let's say here also I want to wait for 1 or 2 hours. If the HR is not responded within 1 hour, then here also we can make it as auto approve. Again, you can go and add the parallel branching here. In the parallel branching, same steps you can go and follow. So go and follow the same step. If it need to keep the same. If the HR is approved within 1 hour, go for this process. If the HR is not approved, add a parallel branching, go and keep the same process again. So here I'm showing for manager auto approve. If the HR is not approved within 1 or 2 hours, if the HR also make it as auto approve, you can go and do the same process. So this is what, how to auto approve or reject the approvals within the time duration. If the manager or the HR is not responding, I want to auto approve it. You can auto approve or you can automatically assign that request to some other managers. Whoever the managers you want to assign, you can assign it. So if the HR is, if the manager is not responding, I'm assigning it to whom? HR. Instead of HR, you can assign to some other managers. And here I'm discussing about timeout. So each and every step in the flow, each and every action in the flow, it will wait for, what's the time duration is 30 days. It can wait for the response within 30 days. If it is not getting any response, the timed out, so the flow automatically will be escalated. Escalations, we'll call it as escalations case. And in the settings, in the timeout, you can enter the time in the ISO standards case. P1D, PT1M, PT1H. H is nothing but hours. So like this, you need to go and enter. No need to mug up all these things. You can make use of the Google. So Google will help you. And next point we discuss is parallel branching. And how many parallel branchings you can use for a single flow means 50 parallel branchings you can go. What the parallel branchings will do? It will perform the multiple actions simultaneously. Parallel branchings will increase the efficiency of the flow. It will save the time, and also it doesn't stop the workflow. It will continuously run the workflows. And I'm using one more action here, terminate. So it is not an action, it is one control. So what is the controls? I'll discuss in the coming classes, guys. So what is the main use of this terminate is? It is used to stop the flow in between. In between, if I want to stop the flow, when I want to stop the flow, let's say if the user is not entering the valid inputs, if the user is not entering valid inputs, I want to stop the flow. I don't want to run it. So in these cases, we can go and use the terminate. So this is what, how to go and auto approve or reject the responses or the approvals. Fine, let me stop here.